Southern California, welcome to Money Matters with Dino. Saturdays from noon to 1, right here on Power Players Radio, KTLK AM1150. Do you own a home or have plans to in the future? You'll get all the information you need to know about what's happening in the local real estate market and how to take advantage of that knowledge. How to approach home ownership or mortgage financing with design, vision, and focus, as well as accurate information. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, listen to Money Matters with Dino right here on Power Players Radio, KTLK AM1150.
Welcome to Money Matters with Dino, the most important hour of radio for Southern Californians every week. My name is Dino Katsiametis, and I want to thank you for joining today's conversation. Sounds like a bold thing to say, the most important hour of radio, but if you're listening right now, I guarantee that by the time this show is over, you'll have learned something valuable. You go to our website, moneymatterswithdino.com, you'll see the tagline, From Your Estate to Real Estate, where your money matters. That title, it sums up what our show is all about. It's about money, your money. My goal and purpose for this show is to educate you regarding your money. Now, that can be anything from buying and selling homes to the stock market or even starting a new business. How do I do this? I seek out top professionals in their marketplace, and I have them share their years of experience and knowledge with you. Now, I know real estate, and I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. I even have knowledge in some other fields, but I don't consider myself an expert in all areas of business. Therefore, in this show, I bring you respected professionals that are experts in their fields because it's critical to me that I provide you with accurate and up-to-date information, and I take that very seriously. Like I mentioned before, my expertise is in growing and managing wealth using the vehicle of real estate. Having decades of experience and extensive knowledge in helping people with their real estate needs has convinced me that real estate is still one of the many and best ways to grow a steady and secure portfolio of wealth. But it's not the only one, and that's why I call the show Money Matters. The other, and I think the greater reason, is that money affects your quality of life. Every financial decision you make affects every aspect of your life, from where you live to how you live. And if you're a family man like me, it also affects if and where your kids will go to college. Think about that. Every financial decision you make today will affect your quality of life tomorrow. Decisions that will affect what neighborhood you live in, what schools your kids will go to, if your kids will be able to play an organized sport or even learn an instrument. I know that sounds silly, but it's not. All these things cost money. I know as well as anybody does, you don't want to say no because of money, but too many of us have to, too much of the time. Money, when managed properly, will enable you to say yes. And more importantly, understanding money, whether it's in the stock market, real estate, or stuffed under your mattress, can protect you from turbulent times like we recently experienced the past few years. Here's something I love to say, and you're going to hear me say it a lot. And this is coming from a guy that loves real estate. Don't just get real estate rich, get rich. And we're here to teach you how. I hope you enjoy this show. Before I get into what we have in store for you today, I want to share with you this week's words of wisdom. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. How simple is that? An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. I love this quote because it's true in every aspect of life. Think about it. How many times did your parents say, stay in school, study hard, because knowledge is power? Well, you know what? They were right. It goes like this. Knowledge leads to understanding, which leads to wisdom, which leads to smart investing habits, which leads to profit. I'm going to slow that down a little bit for you because it's actually important. Knowledge leads to understanding, which leads to wisdom, which leads to smart investing habits, which leads to profit. I can't tell you how many times my early lessons as an entrepreneur has made me money later on with my personal investing. Also, real estate has been a great vehicle for me to invest in, but only after I learned the business through years of doing mortgages and understanding how the markets work. This is why I tell everyone to seek out a mentor or even a personal partner who's done it before and can advise you. Why? Because knowledge is power. So stay tuned, because with me today in studio is my business partner and CEO of OC Financial Media, Mike Warren. Mike's a really knowledgeable guy, and I hate saying that here on air, but he is. He's one of those guys that you can just say something, anything, any topic, and he's got some input. So you're gonna love having to hear what he has to say. And in that segment, basically, Mike will be joining us in our discussion with our panel of experts. Today, we're addressing the extremely important topic of where to invest your money in today's market. Don't miss out on this discussion. And as always, our last segment is the Ask Dino segment, where my producer, Phil, will ask questions that you, the listeners, have emailed us or Facebooked us. And these are just general, like mortgage questions, maybe some stock questions, whatever they are. But I'm going to use my extensive and personal experience to make certain that your questions are answered correctly and in a way that's simple for you to understand. Now, if you have any questions for me or would like to get in touch with any of our guests, you can call us at 949-720-1616. We'll be glad to help you. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. From your estate to real estate, use us as your resource for wealth. This segment is brought to you by DLS Transportation Limo Company, luxury on-time transportation at a reasonable rate. And I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody over at DLS, because they've been taxiing us around here in style for quite some time, and I really do appreciate all your service, being on time, and just a nice luxury ride. DLS will extend a discount to all listeners. Just mention the word Dino and Money Matters with Dino, and that you heard us on the radio, okay? And they'd be glad to help you out. So co-hosting with me today is my producer, Phil Giagrande.
Nice.
I mispronounced his name a few times, so now every single time he looks at me, it's a A at the end.
I was trying not to look at you this time, though. I was going to let it go.
What's going on, Phil? How are you today?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. You've been on this crazy diet that's made you a little edgy and a little...
Have you noticed? I am a little edgier.
Gosh.
It is totally not intentional.
But you're off it now, right?
No.
You're still doing it.
I'm still doing it. I'm reintroducing food like one at a time now. So I had alcohol on my birthday. Yay. And then the other day, what else did I start? Oh, eggs. So now I'm able to eat eggs.
You don't have to start
again
with mashed foods and start with the greens.
No, I'm not like a little child. All right.
Well, I'm glad you're reintroducing and you're becoming a little more normal again, fitting back into society. I don't want to know what led up to that made you have to stop everything, but but hey, tell us about what we're actually talking about today.
All right. Well, I found an article for the beginner investor that I thought was great. It was all about creating good habits and educating yourself. So listen to this. This is what it says. It says, be disciplined and devote a certain amount of time, not only to managing your money, but also to keeping abreast of current developments. At least once a week, you should have a look at the financial pages of a newspaper or internet, and there are also various newsletters and magazines you can subscribe to. Prioritize carefully, deciding what to skim, what to read in detail, and what to keep for the future. Draw on as many of the multitude of available resources as possible. Don't rely just on the internet, but use books, magazines, newspapers, radio, TV, and personal contacts. Also bear in mind that the investment universe spills over into many fields, including politics, psychology, sociology, the environments, and law. And I love that, because that's the truth. I mean, you can't just rely on one resource. You have to kind of keep your head in the game every week, because really the financial community and investments are changing constantly. So you always have to sort of be in the game and be paying attention to what the new thing is.
Well, you're right. And that's one of the advantages we now have over, with the internet. Obviously, we've had it for a while, but for anybody who's, probably 30 years or older remembers the time where it wasn't, actually probably 40 years and older, it wasn't such instantaneous news all the time. But I got to tell you, from my point of view, every time I look, because obviously I have to keep looking and keep myself abreast of the developments, but it's almost too much. My gosh, I can't even keep up anymore, to the point where it gets overwhelming at times. And quite honestly, if I don't like the title, I don't even read.
Right.
Right.
Which is probably why the fundamentals of it are so important, because you can't know every little detail unless you have like the craziest financial planner and the craziest,
Well, and which leads a lot to what we do here in the show. I was that person that I used to know a lot more about everything, but our world, I believe, has become so much more specialized, and there is so much content coming in on a regular basis that you just can't keep up with everything. And our laws, our financial ways, everything as we knew it is no longer. I mean, it's changed. And what I knew back then and could count on, like obviously I'm in the mortgage business. So my big thing every day was what's going to happen to the rates. So I'd always look at a couple things. And if this happened, I could pretty much guarantee that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And now this happens and this happens and this happens and absolutely nothing that was supposed to happen in return happens anymore. So I've come to this realization that when it comes to specializing, I need to put together the team of people that I can trust, that I know are the best in that particular field, and specialize in it. And that way I seek out counsel from people I trust. And we talk about that a lot on the show. It's about putting together the right team that can aid you in making the right decisions, which ultimately leads to wealth. You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions at all about anything you've heard here today, or you want to inquire about a refinance or purchase of a home, give me a call. Phone number is 949-720-1616, and let me help you make the best real estate decision for you and your family. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. Coming up after the break, we have our panel discussion with the experts. Joining us today is Mr. Mike Warren, the CEO of OC Financial Media. While you're waiting, think about your financial goals and ask yourself, am I protecting my current investments with knowledge and investing in a way that will make me wealthy? Remember, don't just get real estate rich, get rich. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When it comes to purchasing or refinancing your home, turn to someone with experience, CHL Mortgage. It doesn't matter if you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing the home of your dreams, or refinancing. The team of mortgage specialists at CHL Mortgage provide you with superior knowledge and service. Their ultimate goal? Getting the highest quality loan at low rates. Their second goal? To create a lasting relationship with every client and continue to provide excellent service for years to come. If you're looking to purchase or refinance, call the experts at 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335. Get additional details at www.chl.cc or call their office at 888-814-3335. Finally, a reputable legal firm. CDA Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435, 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call CDA Law Center at 877-499-4435. That's 877-499-4435, or check them out online at cdalawcenter.com.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions for myself or my guests, or if you need help with your money matters, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. From your estate to real estate, we're here to help you. This segment is brought to you by CFAM Credit Solutions. CFAM Credit Solutions specializes in credit repair. They're the experts in taking off all those little pesky $39 cable, bills that you didn't even know about that now are ruining your credit. Maybe a late payment here or there. Every once in a while, foreclosure or short sale, not guaranteed, obviously, but they've done a great job with my clients, and I highly recommend them. And you can go straight to my website, moneymatterswithdino.com, and you'll see them right there on the homepage. CFAM Credit Solutions. Just click on them and get some help. Do not wait. I guarantee getting your credit scores higher will save you money. It's worth it. Joining us today in our discussion panel with the experts is Mike Warren, the CEO of OC Financial Media. Today we're going to be talking about where to invest your money in today's market. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a little odd for me. I usually am on the other side of the mic, on Phil's side, watching you do the show, but today I'm pretty excited to be here. We've got a hot topic, and I'm eager to share.
Well, tell us a little bit about your background.
this is an hour show, right?
Yeah, and before, actually, let me preface this, because for those of you that don't know Mike, he can kind of talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So we do have a little less than an hour now. Okay. Please don't take it offensive if I just cut you off and go right to the next question.
Well, it won't be anything unlike being in the office.
All right,
so
good. Well, give us a quick little 30-second, 1-minute background on Mike Warren.
Well, Mike Warren has been in the financial services industry going on about 18 years now, and I started my career out with American Express Financial Advisors, worked for Prudential Financial, New England Financial, built a couple companies since then, did a couple turnaround CEO jobs, and got back into the financial services through the media circle about 2 years ago. And I was working on another media company called Local Public Media, working in the financial sector as well. And then I got this really annoying text at 5:30 in the morning,
Are you awake?
Yeah, are you awake? Dino probably remembers this because it was him texting me. So we started going back and forth, and Dino said, hey, I've got this great idea. I'm doing this radio show. I know you're in, you got a media company and you're working on something in Orange County on stocks and working with financial professionals. Why don't you come down and talk to me? And I'm like, Dino, listen, I'm leaving for Texas in 3 days, and I don't plan on coming back. I'm done. I'm moving to Texas. I'm not coming. He's like, no. You got to come up. Just let's talk about this. So I went to his office. I took a look at what he was doing. I got on the phone with my girlfriend about 2 hours later and said, honey, we're not moving to Texas. So we decided to start a company called OC Financial Media. And what we're doing now is managing a couple brands. One is your radio show here, Money Matters with Dino. Another one is Power Players Radio. But one of the most important things that we're bringing out to the public right now is the OC Power Players. And we can kind of go into that a little bit more later.
So, yeah, just a quick, as I mentioned earlier in the show, is, what we do is we've interviewed so many high-level people that are experts in their field. So what we're doing now is we're actually putting these groups together and calling them OC Power Players specifically for Orange County. We'll be doing it as well for the other regions as well. But it's the best of the best in their fields, and that could be anywhere from a divorce attorney, a CPA, financial planner, a bankruptcy attorney, real estate agent, or even a lender. And in that way, we're putting together the team for you. And if you have any question, really any question at all, we're going to have the 12 best of the best in your area that will be able to answer it for you. So we're really excited about what's to come there. For now, let's get on to these questions and test Mr. Warren's knowledge here.
Awesome.
All right. First question, Mike. So I always felt the first rule really in investing is that you're not going to get rich overnight if you're investing wisely. Do you agree with that?
Wow. Listen, investing is it's an interesting animal, and there's so many schools of thought to it that people talk about. You said something earlier, that was really interesting, and that is, we get information thrown at us so quickly on so many different topics, especially when it comes to finance, that the normal person, the person who's not a professional, can easily be confused at what's going on in the marketplace. So, the old rule of buy and hold stocks, the old rule of, just buying some real estate and holding on to it for 30 years or things like that. Those rules don't necessarily translate anymore into what's going on in the marketplace. So the answer to that question is yes, you can invest and you can get rich slowly. If you take a look at Warren Buffett or some of the other people that have done that over time, it has worked out very well for them. There are instances, yes, where you can get rich overnight. They're, few and far between, and I've never seen that many people do it. And most people have gotten rich doing systematic investing over time.
I think that's exactly what it is. The majority are going to be systematic. There's always going to be that guy that just hit it. It's no different than Powerball, or the horse races. You know, you got a hot tip, whatever it was, and the majority of the time it's probably not going to work out, but every once in a while it does.
But think about this, you know, how many of those people have tried, you know, playing the lottery 50 times or going to the horse races 100 times? It's not like they really hit it, you know, overnight. They've tried and tried and failed and failed and failed. And eventually they'd hit it. And investing is very much the same way. You can try different types of investments. You're not going to be successful at all of them. You're only going to be successful at some of them. And you know, to really get through this question is really talking about diversification. And if you invest and diversify and you do it over time, the chances of you being successful are going to be much higher than if you try and hit a get rich overnight scheme.
You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. We can be reached at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Or you can check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. All right, Mike, next question. Do you think inexperienced investors should start with small amounts?
Actually, I do not. I think something even less risky, which is what we call paper trading. And paper trading is offered online by many of the online brokers. And basically what you can do is set up an account where it's not your money. It's not anybody else's money. It's fictitious money. And you can go there and you can practice different types of investment strategies, whether you want to get into options trading or you just see a stock and you say, hey, you know, the earnings report is coming out on that stock in 2 weeks. I'm going to take $10,000 of play money and I'm going to buy 500 shares of that stock. And I'm going to say, you know, let's see what happens to it. And you can actually test theories like that.
Does that cost any money?
It costs nothing. You can open an account on any one of the online brokerage accounts and literally go in there and do what's called paper trading. So I suggest to people that have never traded before 2 things. Number 1, find a professional. That's the very first thing. If you don't know about the stock market, if you don't know about real estate, if you don't know, you know, anything about the financial world, and this is your first trip to the rodeo, chances are if you don't have somebody navigating those waters for you, you are going to get bucked off. There's no question about that. The second thing is practice. You can practice for free without costing you any money, without losing any sleep, without, you know, waking up and your nest egg or your savings or your retirement money being gone by making a foolish mistake. So, you know, I think you should start out, you know, very, very slowly and work your way into it.
All right. Here's another question for you. Let's say your buddy has invested in an energy drink. You know nothing about it, but he's making money. Do you invest in stuff you don't know anything about?
Me personally, I don't. I don't suggest other people do. I actually, it's kind of funny. I had a call this morning from my tenant who's living in my property in Texas right now, and you know he's getting ready to go through a job change, and he asked me. He said, you know, you're in media, you're in marketing, and this job isn't something I don't really know about. Do you think I can learn it, and do you think I'm going to be very good at it? And I said, hey, listen, here's the thing. You can get a quick education by, you know, blowing your money, which is, you know, maybe chasing something like an energy drink that your buddy made a bunch of money in, or you can take some time and you can learn it properly and you know, make educated decisions about it. So, you know, I never invest in anything unless I learn everything about it. I don't care if it's a new business, a stock, or anything.
What would you say is a good return on investments these days?
Banks aren't giving, you know, even 1%. I guess if you're looking at short-term money, you should be happy just to, you know, possibly get 1%. If you're investing long-term in the stock market, I would like to see somewhere in the neighborhood of a 7 or 8% return, something that's moderately conservative. It used to be that, you know, a 10 to 11% rate of return was something you would be happy with. And then people got greedy and it wasn't enough. And now people are begging to get a 10 or 11% rate of return. What
about when things are going down? When's the time to dump an investment?
That's a really tough one.
I shouldn't say going down, even if they're going up. I mean, when do you sell?
Well, That's a great question because
keep in mind we got 1 minute before the commercial.
Okay, so this one I could really go on forever about, but I'm going to tell you. Let's just say let's take gold for an example. Gold has taken a beating lately. Just in the last couple of weeks, has taken quite a dip, and it's had a few years of run up, and there's been a lot of factors because of that. But at the end of the day, if you started out 10 years ago and gold was at, $400 an ounce and it peaked at almost $2,000 an ounce and now it's, in the $1,400-1,500 range, I'd say now's a pretty good time to get out of it if you want to take profit.
I've got a specific example for you.
Okay, yeah.
Sirius satellite radio. I had bought that years ago and it went up and down, up and down. And I was buying and selling and actually made a ton of money on it. And then, bam, it got down to like 5 cents at one point.
Were you holding at that point?
Oh, at that point, I was just like, forget it. I mean, what do you do? Overnight it just collapsed, and I just let it go. Eventually, it got back up. I think it's like at 2.25 or something right now. So it's gotten back a little bit. But what do you do when it's dropping like that? Do you just bail and run, or do you just ride it out?
What I tend to do, and listen, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm no longer licensed as a financial planner, but I was. I had all my licenses, 6, 7, 63, 65, everything you could imagine. And what I tell my clients at the time was you got to set stop losses. And stop losses are very important. And we can talk more about that after the break, but I really think that, we should go down this road a little bit farther.
Well, you're listening to Money Matters with Dino. We're talking to Mike Warren here, and we're talking about all sorts of great things that you're not going to want to miss after this break. But for now, if you have any questions or you want to get a hold of us, you can call us at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. And I do want to remind you, I am a mortgage broker, and this is a very complicated market for both buyers and sellers. Therefore, my recommendation is put together a team that really knows the industry, knows your market, and understands your needs. If you need some help putting that team together, give me a call. We're at 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. From your estate to real estate, we're here to help. Stick with us. We'll be right back after the break and continue our panel discussion with the experts. We're going to cover the ins and outs of financial planners, private business investing, and, of course, real estate. Think about how you can use this information to make the most from this fast-paced economy. Don't just get real estate rich, get rich. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Finally, a reputable legal firm. CDA Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435, 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call CDA Law Center at 877-499-4435. That's 877-499-4435, or check them out online at cdalawcenter.com.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions for me or Mike, or if you need help with your money matters, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. From your estate to real estate, we're here to help you. You can also check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This next segment has been brought to you by Citywide Home Loans, also known as CHL Mortgage here in California, bringing you low rates, specials and closing costs, and exceptional service. We're in the middle of our panel discussion with the experts, and if you're just tuning in, we're having an incredible discussion right now about where to invest your money in today's market. Of course, if you missed any part of the show, you can go to moneymatterswithdino.com and check it out online. We do our best to get it online when Phil actually gets around to it, but we try doing it immediately. Sometimes we're a day late, but it's always there. With me today is our CEO of OC Financial Media, Mike Warren. So, Mike, we were just into a pretty deep question that there was no way we were going to finish in time before the break. So I'm just going to ask you again, and maybe you can combine it with the next question for me as well. So how do you know when to dump an investment? But also, when you hear someone say history repeats itself, don't fight the trend, what are they saying? How does all that work together?
Well, this is an interesting question. If you followed the stock market or the real estate market or any market through history, take us back to the 30s, you can see that everything goes in waves. It goes in trends. The stock market does. There's a correction, and then there's an increase. There's a decline, there's a pullback, and then people come back in. Real estate has been the same way. And we've seen that over the last 5 years, and we saw that for 10 years before. And, it doesn't take a dummy to figure out that when, the return on a piece of real estate is 20 times more than what the rent would be on the property, that's probably a pretty good time to sell. And it's the same when you look at the stock market right now, where we've just hit an all-time high here in the high 14,000 range. We've had a little bit of pullback, and we're entering into what stock traders call the quiet months. And these are when people usually take a little money off the table in stocks, especially like last year in May. We had a significant pullback, and then people came back in at the end of summer, and we've had a significant run up since. So, things follow trends, and history absolutely repeats itself. So, I think it's good to take a little money off the table sometimes, and I think when things are low, it's good to put a little bit more money back on the table.
How do you feel about precious metals like gold and silver?
Right now, I actually love them. I know they've taken a pretty good hit. I think we're going to see a little bit more bottoming on these things, but as a rule, especially with the economic shape our country's in, and the fact that we're the only country in the world that does not put a limit on printing money. I would say that with the devaluation of the dollar, gold and silver are probably a pretty good bet. I love them.
So even though they're as high as they are right now, still going to go up.
Yeah, I think they're going to go up. I just think it's going to take some time. There's a little pullback. People are reassessing. We got to look at some of the inflation numbers, things like that. But I think over time they're going to go up.
What about commodities like milk, eggs, bread, stuff like that? Are they good investments?
I think you should look deeper than the commodity itself and start looking at farmland. So here's an interesting statistic that I learned just in the last week, and that is the very wealthy in this country, when times get really tough, especially in recessions and when you see property values going down, the ultra wealthy invest in farmland, and the reason why is commodity prices go up and the farmland becomes much more valuable. And over the last 4 to 5 years, farmland has increased by almost 30% a year, when the rest of the market has been taking a dump. So commodities, I like commodities, but they're a little harder to gauge because the market swings so rapidly in commodities. But the source of those commodities is where the investment is.
I got to say, that's really intelligent. I didn't think about that. I like that a lot.
You're
absolutely right.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, if commodities go up, the cost goes up, and the value of the land that produces the commodity goes up. So where do you want to invest? You want to invest in the milk or the cheese or do you want to invest in the cow?
As many of you know, my wife's from Iowa. I've talked about it several times, and I was back there this past summer, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of rich frickin' farmers. You just can't tell because of the way they dress and the trucks they drive.
Absolutely. My dad lives in rural Indiana. It's all farmland, soybeans and corn, and The people around there years ago were selling their farms for, dirt cheap. And now they're hanging on and they're actually buying up land like crazy because they know that the commodity of the land is the most important, not the product.
Just a quick story, too, because I know we got a lot of other questions. But what I really found interesting is hunting back in those areas is huge. I mean, it's a freaking sport. I mean, they live for it.
Yep.
And what I didn't realize is these farmers actually rent their land out to people in Chicago, from the city, like Chicago. They come out there with just them and their buddies, and they've sectioned off this. That's their land for the year.
Hunting ranches.
And they pay a lot of money for it.
They pay a ton of it. When we bought our property in Texas, we were talking with my girlfriend's brother-in-law, and he was telling us that people are buying up thousands of acres of land, especially for that, and they're charging top dollar just for the use of the land for hunting and even farming now. So a lot of people, the wealthy, the ultra wealthy, they're not stupid. They're wealthy because of that, and they buy things that other people don't buy when they're not hot. So, like I said, don't buy the milk, buy the cow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, for one, I'm going to start a tomato garden in my backyard. See if I can save a little bit of money and maybe even sell. Actually, avocados. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm allergic to those.
Good.
That does me no good.
You can come over. All right. What about money markets versus Roth IRAs? What do you think?
Two entirely different types of accounts that have money. A money market is a very liquid short-term account. An IRA or a Roth IRA is a retirement account. You have to hold those accounts for many, many years, and they're used for entirely different types of investments. Even though an IRA you can hold any type of investment, stock, bond, mutual fund, annuity, any type. But in a money market fund, it's liquid cash.
How about tried and true CD and U.S. Treasury bonds?
Hate them, but I'm going to just say, for safety, you're getting, at least in a U.S. Treasury bond, you've got the full faith and credit of the backing of the United States government, which they've never defaulted on a bond. So I'd say that's a pretty good investment if you want absolute security, but for a rate of return, not my favorite.
You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. We can be reached at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Or you can reach us online at moneymatterswithdino.com. All right, Mike, we got to get on these questions. We're running out of time. Let's see. Should everyone use a financial planner? What type of financial planners and money managers do you recommend for the average investor?
The answer to that is absolutely 100% yes. You should always use some kind of planner depending on what you're going to, what you need them for. I don't go to a mechanic to work on my teeth. I go to a dentist, right? So if I'm going to be looking for stocks, I'm going to find a stockbroker. If I'm going to be, trying to get tax strategies, I'm going to a CPA. If I need a trust set up, I'm going to an estate planning attorney. If I need any of those, I'm going to be looking for the OC Power Players.
You heard it right here, folks. You don't go to a mechanic to work on your teeth. All right, Mike, how about investing in startup companies, angel investors like the Guppy Tank? They seem absolutely willing to spend their money that way. What do you think about those?
I like startup companies, and I've been involved in several over the years. Some make it, some don't. That's the risk you're going to take. I would say if you're going to invest in those, don't put don't bet your rent money. Okay.
What are specific things about startup companies, though, that are attractive to an investor? Like, what should one look for?
Well, if you're in the very early stages, when you put your money in, you're going to get the most, bang for your buck. Those companies need that capital terribly, early in the game. So when you're negotiating for, a piece of the company, getting in, being one of the first or second into that allows you to really, get a bigger percentage. So if the company makes it, you have a bigger chance of success and making more money.
All right. What about a self-employed guy, a business owner? Is it always good to invest back in your own business?
Well, the wealthy use other people's money. small business owners usually bootstrap it and do put their own money into the business, leveraging home equity lines of credit cards, other family members, people like that. I believe if you truly believe in your business, you are definitely going to invest not only your time and your expertise, but your money. So, that's a two-edged sword. Yes, I do up to a point, and then as soon as it gets to a certain point, you bring in other investors into that company.
Though I have knowledge in this because as an entrepreneur and self-employed, my entire life, I used to be in the clothing business years ago, right out of college. And, clothing requires inventory, which is obviously can get expensive. And, I was young, I was in my early 20s. I kept putting everything back into the company. And then finally I was talking with this guy and he ended up becoming a consultant for me, which I couldn't even understand back then in my early 20s that I'm paying this guy $1,000 a month to tell me what to do. But you know what? I was in over my head and I had to learn. And the biggest lesson I learned out of it, he told me to pay myself. He goes, Dino, you got to pay yourself. And I said, yeah, but this clothing is a great deal. I just found it. And if I buy all of it, I get, and he's like, I know. But he goes, that's always going to be around the corner. You're always going to be doing that. You're never going to pull anything back for yourself. You got to pay yourself, pull profits. And he goes, and if you want to buy that inventory, go back to your shops, take a look at your inventory and decide what you're going to sell and then take that money and buy it. But you cannot just keep putting in and in and in. Otherwise, something goes wrong and it's all gone. You got nothing.
Been there, done that. I built a $1 billion company, close to $1 billion company, and never took a dime out for myself. And when it all came crashing down, I looked back and said, man, $230 million a year is what my company was generating, and I wasn't taking a dime for myself. It was a huge mistake, and I would never do that again.
Well, you are a little bit older. You're not very gray yet, but you're definitely a little wiser.
I'm getting shorter, though.
That happens, huh?
Yeah.
You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions at all about your mortgage, current rates, programs, or you're looking to buy a home or investment property, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's why we're here, to make sure you're getting the most out of your real estate, protecting your finances, protecting your family, and becoming real estate wealthy. Call us at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. From your estate to real estate, we're here to help. Stick around, because after the break, Mike Warren is going to be back again, and he's going to be diving in a little bit deeper on a few other topics, and we're going to also be getting more into the real estate market. And then, of course, we're going to top it all off with the infamous Ask Dino. That'll be at the very end of our show, and that's when basically you, the listener, have either logged on to our website or Facebook and just asked us questions. These are general questions that everybody seems to have, and seems to be one of the most popular topics on our show. Stick around. The Ask Dino segment will be at the end. Be right back.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Finally, a reputable legal firm. CDA Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435, 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call CDA Law Center at 877-499-4435. That's 877-499-4435, or check them out online at cdalawcenter.com.
Thanks for hanging with us. This is Money Matters with Dino. I'm your host, Dino Katsiametis, and I get laughed at every time I say my last name, but that's how you say it, guys. Well, listen, if you're listening right now, and if you have any questions at all, either for myself or for Mike, give us a call. We're at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. From your estate to real estate, we're here to help you. This segment has been brought to you by CDA Law Center. These are the experts in loan modifications, and I know there's still a few of you out there that have not done it yet. I can tell you right now, just from personal experience and dealing with all my clients, it is the most annoying process you could ever possibly go through. And if you're that guy that can't deal with annoying people, give CDA Law Center a call because they will help you get through it. And I can vouch for them. I've sent several clients there. They will not even take you on as a client if they don't think you have a good chance of getting your loan mod approved. So, Mike, just for a little bit here, I want to dive a little bit more into the OC Financial Media and OC Power Players. Why don't you tell us all what we're doing with that?
So OC Financial Media is a company that is built around three brands. The first one is your show. The second one is Power Players Radio, which is an area that we are posting video and audio of all the shows that you do. The one that we're really showcasing more than anything is what we call the OC Power Players. And OC Power Players is the best of the best in your area in Southern California. The best financial advisor, the best attorney, and that could be a bankruptcy attorney, a divorce attorney, a probate attorney, an estate planning attorney. It could be any one of those. It could be the best stockbroker, the best real estate agent, the best mortgage broker, any one of those. And we are showcasing those individuals and only picking 12, except in the real estate field because it's impossible to do anything less than one per area. But as far as Southern California, there is a hierarchy of who does the best work, and we are seeking those people out. We're putting them together with each other, and we're showcasing those people to the general public so that the best of the best is known out there. It's always better for somebody else to be talking about you than for you to be talking about yourself. So,
well, what I like is that through this show we've managed to put together a lot of these people, and it's become quite an informative show. I mean, realistically, through our panel discussions, we'll have the advice of a financial planner, an attorney, a CPA, whatever the expertise is of that person, is going to give exactly what we've talked about throughout this whole show is that particular hyper-focused attention on that one matter. And I'm a huge believer in that. Like you said earlier, you don't go to the mechanic to fix your teeth. And what's great about all this is really just naturally, organically swapping clients back and forth to each other and really just, outsourcing the best people for the job. And that's what I like about this show.
Well, and that's really what OC Financial Media is all about. It's about putting the best of the best together and then, letting those clients and those professionals interact with each other in a way to help everybody involved. And if you've been listening to the show before, or this is your first time tuning in, you can understand and you can see by what we put out for content is that Dino brings on experts, and he doesn't do all the talking. He lets them talk because nobody knows everything about everything, not even me, even though I like to think I do, but I don't. So, that's really what OC.
I'm surprised your name's not Jack.
It could be. That's my middle name.
Anyways, real quick too, we're hyper focusing in Orange County for now, but we do have these professionals in LA and Riverside, Ventura, San Bernardino as well. If we don't have them for the exact need that you have, but you want to find somebody, call us up because we will go through our network and we'll get the right referral for you. We can be reached at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Also, if you consider yourself a power player, if you're a financial expert, an attorney, a CPA, a real estate agent, but one of the best in your area, give us a call. We'd love to screen you and have a little chat with you and find out if you can be on the show and give the right advice to the people. Our phone number is 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. All right, it's almost time to wrap it up. But before we go, we got the infamous Ask Dino segment.
We don't have a lot of time for this, so I'm just going to power through them, okay?
Go for it.
When I apply for my loan, will my bonuses and commissions be considered as income?
Good question. It all depends. I mean, the answer is if you've been receiving that if you have a history of receiving it typically for 2 years, then yes, we'll be adding your bonus and commission. And if you just got a new job and you're receiving bonus or commission for the first time, nope, we cannot do it. It has to be guaranteed income.
What about like a second job? Like if you have
history of it,
history of the second job.
If you don't have history, then we can't use it.
Okay.
It's not like the old days, Phil.
If I had no stated incomes, if I've had a few different employees in the last few years, does it affect my ability to get a loan?
Well,
I think a few different employers, right?
So if you've had a few different employers in the last few years, it really makes it a pain in the butt for your loan officer. Just because of all the extra paperwork. I mean, we have to prove every single little thing that we put on the application now. So if you've had 3 or 4 different jobs, then we gotta go back and do that. Now, ultimately, it's what you're doing now, and if you've stayed in the same field at least, right, then it's okay if you've jumped around. However, again, if you've been moving up, but you're hourly, then we have to take an average of all those jobs. If you've been moving up in your salary, then we can take your actual salary and give that to you.
Got it. We have time for one more, and it's this. Over the last few years, I've gained some equity in my home, and I want to sell and buy an investment property. Is now the time to do this, or should I wait until the price goes up a little more? That's a good question, because if you're trying to, I guess, leverage into something bigger, or when's the jumping point?
Mean, okay, so it depends. If you're selling a primary residence to go buy an investment property, then it's more of a financial decision, and maybe you can sell yours and buy 2 investment properties. I don't know. There's so much more I need to know, but if you're selling your house and you want to go buy a bigger house, for example, I just had this exact same situation happen in Huntington Beach. I would say sell your house now, even though it's going to go up. Sell it now, get into the bigger house, because they're going to both be going up. The bigger house is going to appreciate even more. So if you're going to sell your house for $500,000 now and you think you might get $550,000 for it later, but that other house may have gone up to $800,000 or $900,000.
So bigger properties appreciate faster always?
In the market, the way it's going right now, yeah. I mean, big properties are appreciating, but you also have to remember too that you're paying taxes on that number. So right. The tax base on the higher property is what's it's going to stick with you forever. The other quick thing too is jumbo rates. Depending on how much more or what level you're at, if you're within that breaking point, but if it goes up and above over the jumbo, or the conforming loan amount of 625.5, you're all of a sudden in a different category and you're paying a lot more in interest rate. So, I think that question. Give me a call directly. I'll help you answer that one. I mean, there's a lot of different things you have to look at there before I can answer that question. Well, that's the end of our show today. You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions at all about anything you heard on the show today, don't wait. Pick up the phone. Give us a call. We're at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. We're a tremendous resource for you to use at any time. So I want to thank my expert panel here today, Mr. Mike Warren from OC Financial Media. Thank you, Mike. Also, big thanks to my producer, Phil, for all the work you do on the show. A very special, extra special thank you goes out to you, the listener, for sending in all the questions that you do and just tuning in every week. You're the reason I come on the show every week. I love doing the show, and I truly hope you get as much out of it as I do. We're here every Saturday from noon to 1 on KTLK AM1150, and pretty soon we're going to be picking up an extra hour from 1 to 2. So we'll be on 2 hours straight from 12 to 2 coming up here. If you missed any part of the show, you'd like to hear it online, you can catch us on our website at moneymatterswithdino.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel at Power Players Radio. Thank you all so much for listening, and remember, don't just get real estate rich, Get rich. Your future is up to you. Bye for now.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.